This video is a video on how to save your files using Adobe Premiere. Just like most of the software that we've used, there are two formats to the files that you are saving for your work. One is the format that can be opened up only in that software, so it is primarily used for editing or continuing to edit your project. The other format is a format that you use for sharing with people who don't necessarily have the particular type of software that you're using and who just want to view your work and not change it or edit it in any way. So the first thing that you always want to do is save your project or your video as in this case, Adobe Premiere file. And in order to do that, you click File, Save As, and I made a folder inside. My Downloads folder called Premiere Workshop 2016. So I'm going to get to that folder, and then I'm going to save my project. And as you can see here, the file extension is .prel. .prel, and that is the file that will open up only in Premiere. So I'll save that file. Now I also want to save a format of this video, which I've edited and it's just right. I want to save it so that others can view it, or I can upload it to YouTube or whatever I want. So the first thing I'm going to do for that is I'm going to save to export files for viewing on the computer. So click that under the Share tab you see here. I'm going to just leave it in the FLV format, which I can change that format to be in an MPEG. AVI is what you use if you're going to use that video inside PowerPoint, etc. There's other formats you use, but I'm just going to leave it here. I'll name it Premiere Workshop, and then I'm going to browse, and in this case I'm going to put it in the same folder as I had before, but it's not required. You don't have to put it in the same folder as the other one, unlike Audacity. Okay, once I've done that, I just hit Save. Oh, so there's two things that I want to talk about here while it's rendering. While you're editing your videos, especially some of you guys have super long videos to edit, you want to hit the Save File Save button often, or you could use this Save button, and that'll save the work that you've done so far. It's not completely permanent until you render it, which we're doing right now. This is rendering. Rendering takes a super long time. So if you render every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, at least once you know you've got that section of it just the way you want it, then at the end of your video it won't take as long. So as you can see, it's only gone 15%, and it's been a pretty long time. The estimated time for this 6-minute video that I have here is over 5 minutes, right? So it takes a long time to render. So I'm going to stop this here and let it finish rendering. Oh, it's still rendering, but I did want to mention that previously when I was making these videos, my Premiere stopped working probably 3 times. So that's another reason that you really need to save your project. Hit the Save button up here often, because if Premiere decides to suddenly stop working, you will lose all of your work since the last time you saved. So saving only saves it in the Premiere format. It's not the same as rendering. It won't take long at all. And then render maybe every half an hour to an hour, whatever, so that it doesn't take as long at the end of your project. Okay, so as you can see here, it's saved properly. It says Save Complete, and our video has been successfully saved. So let's look at this, the Premiere Workshop folder. So I have my Premiere Workshop 2.prel, which can only be opened in Adobe Premiere Elements. And then I also have my Premiere Workshop.flv, which I should be able to open using any media type of video player, VLC media video player. So if you share the files with your teammates and they want to further edit the files, you would definitely share the .prel file. If you are uploading a final product and wanting to share it with people in general, you would share the FLV file. You can check out the other file formats. Like I said, the AVI is particularly for PowerPoints. There may be some other formats that you might find desirable. Okay, so that's all about saving your file. Remember to save in Premiere often, because if it crashes, you're going to lose your work. You want to render periodically when you have you're done with your edits on a particular portion, because that will save the amount of time when you finally save your final product. It could take over a half an hour if it's a big file, if you don't render it along the way. And finally, remember that there are two different formats that you need to have. The PREL format is for using in Adobe Premiere only, and then the FLV or other formats can be used for sharing with the general public. Okay, great, thanks.